Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the season 2 of the Growth Invitation. As you know, in this season, I am committed to bringing on powerful females from all around the world to share their amazing stories of challenges and of growth as an invitation and inspiration to you all, so that you know no matter where you are, what you've experienced, where your starting point is, whatever's happening to you now, you can always choose to grow and manifest your dream future. Today, I am so excited to have a fellow graduate with me, Leslie Lattimore-Lorfils. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, Janet. So nice to be here.
We're going to be having a really real conversation about how to navigate really high expectations from the outside world. Like, I know that, both myself and Leslie are coaches. We are Lisa Nichols certified transformational trainers, and we both work with women have who are in a space where there's constant expectations, not just in a job, but also in relationships, whether it's a partner, whether it's friends, your family, your friends, but also the expectations that we put on ourselves. And then there's the social media, and it piles on and on and on. And so today, this conversation is going to be all about what happens when we have all of these expectations to us, but also how can we get out of it on the other side? So, Leslie, before we get started, I would love for you to give a quick introduction to yourself to the audience.
Okay. Well, first of all, Janet, thank you for having me in this space. I don't take it lightly and I don't take it for granted. I'm so honored to be here to help you serve the community that needs what they need. Quick introduction. So, my name is Leslie Lattimore-Lorfils, affectionately known as Coach L3, and I am the CEO and founder of Girl Organize That Life, where I empower executive women who have served as a senior official in the military, doctors, lawyers, C-suite owners, boss ladies. I'm known as the boss lady architect. And essentially, I help women who, many of us appear so polished on the outside, but on the inside, we've lost something. And most of the time, it's ourselves. So I help women to pivot with poise despite the noise. That is our tagline in our business, because we do have so many things pulling at us. Another fun fact about me, I am a mother of 12 children. So while I served in the military almost 3 decades with my husband, we raised 12 beautiful human beings. We have 6 grown and 6 are still at home. So I definitely can talk to and speak to what it is to have so many things pulling at us in so many different directions, and how do we keep our center in all of it.
Wow. I mean, people talk about having children and it's hard to raise them, but 12, that is incredible.
Yes, yes. And we have, I think, every generation now, except for, of course, we don't have infants anymore. My children range from age 30 to age 6.
Wow, that is incredible. So you literally have one at like pretty much every stage of life.
Every stage
That's
except for
amazing.
infancy. We are done with that stage.
At least that's done. And then let's put that aside. We'll carry on with the rest.
Yes, yes.
Oh, incredible. So, Leslie, we're here to talk about how to navigate expectations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, I mean, being serving in the military cannot have been easy.
mm-hmm.
And being a mother, a partner, a friend, a peer alongside all of that cannot have been easy. Like, please share with us like your story around that, like when was the hardest time and that those expectations that you have to navigate, what were they?
Oh man, so many different things I could choose from. But I'm going to start with when I was a young lieutenant, brand new to the Army. And first of all, let's talk about self expectations. I have high standards that I place for me before anyone else even asks anything of me. And so, with that, as a young lieutenant, I was so eager and I had so much zeal to really perform and prove to my leaders that I deserve this rank, I earned this rank, and now it's time for me to carry out the responsibilities that come with such rank. I can remember as a young lieutenant, I think at that time I had two children. Maybe it was just my son, but no, I had two. I had my son and my one daughter, and I was working late hours. I'm talking to like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm still like a young mom, you know. And I remember my husband saying to me, "Babe, we don't see you anymore." And in that moment, I remember feeling like I was failing my family somehow. And because I felt like I was failing them, of course, I'm feeling like I'm failing me. But I am not failing the Army mission because I was giving them all of my time and my energy. And I was depleting my time and my energy from home. So I would say that was probably one of the hardest statements I've had to hear my husband say, because my first responsibility is always home before Army mission, before church, before anything, to make sure that I'm taking care of home first. Back to your question in reference to expectation management and what people may place on you. I had to then figure out how to exercise one of the Army values, which is personal courage, to talk to my boss and let them know I will give you 150% of what I have. But I have to make sure that I show up as wife and mom first so that I can better show up as the Army officer after that. Hard because you don't want to disappoint, right? Remember what I said, I had high expectations of me. The military, we have all these different things that's expected of us. But it was important for me to make sure that even with my role as an Army officer, that my priorities were in alignment of what will always be my nucleus and what would always be most important for me. And I know somebody listening, they could be thinking, you know, how did you do that? How do you tell your boss? Setting boundaries, really, is what it was. How do you do that with your boss without feeling like there may be a point of contention? Or I think it's all in first leaning into yourself and really dialing into your core, that you understand what that is. And I think once there is a true deeper understanding of that, you can properly articulate to your leaders, those that you work for, those that you work with, here are my boundaries. And I cannot go past these boundaries because, and fill in the blank of whatever that because is. So I would say I won't say that was an easy thing to do. It wasn't. It was scary, honestly, because here I am. I'm this brand new, lieutenant in the Army, and I'm supposed to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm learning all the things, but there was that current of I have to perform in excellence. I have to show up on time. I have to be in my proper headspace so that I can lead soldiers. Because instantly coming in, I was leading 50 people off the bat as a young 20-something-year-old. I'm leading different walks of life. I'm leading people that were older than me, right? So how do you do that and still maintain home? So it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And I leaned into it.
I love that because actually, it can be so difficult. I think, especially for women, we are extra hard on ourselves anyway, and
Yeah.
you said that right off the start is had really high expectations on ourselves. And these expectations, rightly or wrongly, comes from how we were brought up and the external environments. And then we also want to go the extra mile because we love to actually be able to perform. We trust in ourselves to be able to do well and give that 150%. But then
Yeah.
it can be easy to forget
Yeah.
the priorities. Sometimes we go with the flow of things, the flow of life, and it takes us somewhere. And then it takes someone, actually, I think it's really credible of your husband to say, we're not seeing you anymore.
Yeah.
For you to then actually go, oh, yes, right, I need to come back to it. So, actually, there's two things that I really want to talk about here is part of it was actually not the external expectations of people. And then the other part is actually, the expectations of ourselves. Where does
Right.
it all come from? And in a way, they're all interlinked in terms
Absolutely,
of
they do.
sometimes when we have an expectation of ourselves because we've seen something
Right.
on, maybe it's on social media, maybe it's our peers, maybe it's someone who's really successful that we want to emanate. But then why am I not there yet?
Mm.
So yes, would love to get your thoughts on this concept of expectations. Where do you think it comes from, and what sets at what point is it okay to have expectations, and at what points it's not okay to have expectations?
Great question. Great question. So fruitful. So, one thing that I do talk about, whether I'm talking to people or my clients or anyone that I'm interfacing with, as I said, my business, Girl Organize That Life, where we have the tagline, pivoting with poise, to pivot with poise despite the noise. The first thing that I talk about, what is the noise that's in your head? What is the rhetoric, right? The end being needing validation externally, internally, right? What are the stories we're telling ourselves? And the second thing, the O, operating in some type of pressure. If you're a high school student, maybe it's peer pressure. If you're a grown person, maybe it's still peer pressure. Because like you say, you're looking to the right and to the left, like XYZ, they're doing this and that. Why am I not there yet? So now you're operating in some type of peer pressure, right? And then the third thing, sometimes we don't want to go through a process. We want the thing now. Instant gratification, right? And I'm not saying it's bad, but it's something that I believe that requires good emotional intelligence. And the first component of that is self-awareness. Are you a person that feel like I need it now? I don't necessarily want to go through the process. And then the fourth thing in the noise, self-sabotage. How many times have we defeated ourselves before we even allow ourselves to really get started? What are the stories we continue to tell ourselves? What are the limiting beliefs that continues to haunt us? We know that our actions and what drives us, 95% of that comes from the subconscious mind. So it's not the very things that's right in front of you. It's those things that's underneath, right? And then E, finally, expectations, what we're talking about. And we have to, I think it's important to understand where they come from and what does that equal when they're not met. Unmet expectations equals disappointment, right? The noise. So the first thing is being able to identify the noise and those things that I just outlined. And once you're able to do that, okay, now that I understand the noise, what are my expectations? What are the expectations of people? What happens when they're not met? How do I now pivot? How do I continue to show up? When do I give myself grace when something doesn't quite go the way as planned? These are the things that I talk about. And if someone were to ask me, Leslie, how did you manage your expectations? Well, I tap into that noise first. And is the noise true noise or is it made up noise? That's the thing that I don't think we address in a way that's so forthcoming within ourselves. It's just management. I think it's self-management first and really having really, really good emotional intelligence. It's one thing to go along in life and you're doing the thing, and sometimes you might be even going on and you're so programmed to do the thing. It's like, I'm just doing it because I'm conditioned to do it. But when do we stop and pause and say, well, do I really need to be doing XYZ anymore? Is this what this season calls for? Does it call for me to work 12 hours a day? Does it call for me to be superwoman all the time? Or is this a season of rest and restoration and reflection? Where it may be, you're going to work 7 hours. Make sure you take the hour for lunch. Make sure that you take the pause and take the break. Make sure that you've expressed to your family, hey, when I get home every day, I need 30 minutes. Make sure that you have those hard conversations with your boss. Right now, my season is plate up that's overfull, overloaded. I'm overrun. I'm overwhelmed. And guess what? I can't show up as my best for your mission right now. So I think all of that plays into how we manage our expectations of ourselves and from other people.
And I love what you shared that. It's about firstly understanding ourselves and where all of these expectations come from, because what you said was so powerful. Like, unmet expectations equals disappointment, but disappointment to what? About who? Like, to who?
Right.
For what? Like, are you disappointing someone else? Does it matter? Or are you
Right.
disappointing yourself because you're not showing up as your best self? And I think that's such a powerful differentiation in what you shared, because actually a lot of times, I mean, I know I'm guilty of it sometimes. It's like, oh, but if I don't do that, if I don't go to this, like if I don't go to that someone's birthday party, or if I don't go to, if I don't show up here, or if I don't go to this event, person X is gonna be disappointed. But I am empty.
Yes.
But I force myself to grow, and I'm like,
Yes. Why
yay.
would we do that? Right? Why would we do that? I have a question that I always have to say, like, who said? Who told you that you had to do all the things? And the thing is, that birthday party that you were probably going to, if you were to talk to that mom that was giving that birthday party, that mom would probably be like, if I could just be at home in my bed. If I'm going to tell the truth, sis, I'm empty too. I'm tired. I didn't even want to give the birthday party for the kid, but I don't want to disappoint my kid. Well, who says your kid would be disappointed at age 2? They're not going to even remember the birthday party. So is it really for the kid or is it for you? I mean, these are the things that we got to really ask ourselves. We have to be emotional honesty. I heard someone say, do we have emotional honesty? Probably not.
Yes, yes, emotional honesty. I've actually never heard of that phrase, but I
Jamal
love
Belair.
that.
That's who I credit. You know Jamal. He was one of our coaches.
Yes,
Jamal
yes,
Belair. He says we need to have emotional honesty. What a profound statement.
yes, yes, absolutely. It really links so well to, what I learned about authenticity. It's like when I learned that authenticity isn't just about like not lying. It's about being honest with yourself and being authentic to exactly who we are in that exact moment, in that season of life. That's true authenticity. Not just, oh, I'm an honest person.
Right.
That's what I used to think it was, and it changed my life completely. But coming back to talk about like expectations. So managing expectations actually comes from within us.
It does.
Having that, awareness of what our values are, having an understanding of what we really want, and then asking that question of who said?
Who said? I'm telling you, it's like the best question ever. I asked myself. I was like, Leslie, who said? Who told you that? Nobody did. I told myself that. Well, stop telling yourself that. Like literally, I have to have self-talk conversations and reel my own self in. If I'm going to be coaching clients and leading other people, I have to start leading me first. It's just like that concept. Put your oxygen mask on first. before you put it on somebody else. It's the same thing that our illustrious mentor and leader, Lisa Nichols, I remember talking to her in the hallway, and I said, Lisa, I just gotta know. How do you give us all of this greatness and still keep your diva-ness about you? And she paused and she looked at me and she said, well, you know how Lisa talks.
Yes.
Well, I fill my cup up first, and then I give it to you all from my overflow. That has stuck with me since we were at When My Soul Speaks. Back, was it last April or April before? That statement has stuck with me ever since she said it to me. I just thought, oh, wow. So no, you're not filling your cup. You're keeping your own cup full. And then everybody else gets from what is poured over so that you're never empty. The key is, how do I figure out that delta that causes the emptiness? And then being self-aware of the expectations and really be deliberate about managing them from the inside before the outside manages everything else for us too. You know? Yeah.
Wow. That is, well, we all know that Lisa Nichols is absolutely profound, but that, what you just shared as well, is amazing. Um, so I want to go back to my earlier question to really deep dive into a little bit deeper about, so is it a good thing or a bad thing to have expectations? Should we have them at all?
It's a human thing. It's a human thing. It's human for us to have them. And truthfully, if we didn't, I think there are situations and seasons where sometimes you don't need to have them at all. Example, when I am preparing for a live event, my expectation is that the correct women come to be in the room. I no longer have the expectation of I'm going to have a certain amount. Because I think when we start doing that, it can easily derail you from purpose. The purpose of the event is to usher the correct women that need to be in that container at that time. It may be 30 instead of 100. So once I said, oh, Leslie, don't focus on like the number. I mean, yeah, you want to get your ticket sales and all the things. Yes, of course. But don't get so wrapped around that, because now you have shifted your focus from purpose. So in that season, I'm not expecting a certain number, but I am expecting transformation to happen. Or certain things I may not expect from my family members, because I have to understand where their capacities are. Certain things from a certain child. You know, so no, it's a human thing to have expectations. I believe it keeps some type of order and overall good management. But there are times we should have zero expectations so that you don't have the disappointments.
And
So it's
from
a
what
human
I'm
thing.
hearing,
Not good or bad, just human.
I love that. I love that because we have a tendency to want to label, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? But actually, it's just a natural human thing that we all do. But what I really took from what you said as well is actually expectations, whilst it's human, it's a good thing if you use it in a correct way.
Correct.
It's a good thing if you have something like you said, have the ticket sales, or maybe, set some boundaries around, okay, or kind of like have some sort of structure around how you want to show up as a mother, as a partner, as a this or that. But it's also about knowing yourself and knowing when is the right time to let go.
Yes. That right there, what you just said, knowing when it's the right time to let go. I at my event, one of my speakers, it was so awesome. She had a suitcase. And on the outside of the suitcase, she had different labels: fear, bitterness, resentment, disappointment, like all these different things, unforgiveness, some emotions that tend to rev up in us when life is happening. And she came out and she was rolling the suitcase onto the stage. And you could visibly see all these things attached. These are the things that people carry in their suitcase. At what point are you going to know and be wise enough to let the unforgiveness go, to let the bitterness go, to let the resentment go, to let these high standards that you may have for yourself that's causing you anxiety, let them go and allow yourself to be human. We gotta know when to let stuff go, because now your suitcase is so heavy and to the point you can no longer drag it. Synonymous being you can't show up the way you're supposed to because you're carrying all of these weights.
Yes, when it's like the all of these, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say when it's all of these expectations that we carry that invisible case with us, or as a backpack even, like, so we end up being heavier and heavier and heavier. We have to drag our feet along, and then actually we can't do anything because we can't even stand up straight anymore.
Right. That heavy bag is affecting your posture. It's affecting your ability to hold your head up high. It's affecting your ability to be able to be limber and really move fluidly the way you're supposed to. Synonymous to all the things that we're responsible for as busy women.
And that label of busy is can also be another label for expectations.
Yeah. Because like I said, who says that you have to be busy all the time? Who told you that? No. That's an underlying current that if you're not self-aware, you will self-implode because you have this, I'm busy. Are you busy just to be busy? Are you busy just to say you're busy? Are you busy because you want to feel better about yourself? Or are you busy with a purpose? Are you busy because there is a milestone that has to be met or reached? Are you busy because there's a life that you need to touch? Are you busy because there's a change that needs to come? Or are you busy just being busy? Being
Oh,
busy just to be busy can be a disease. Hello.
oh, that right there. What you just said right there, Leslie. That was incredible. I was literally like, yes, 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 yes. Amazing. So, as we come to a close on this particular episode, I want to ask you if you had one tip or piece of advice that can help the audience who is experiencing a lot of expectations and really struggling, crumbling underneath them, whether it's self expectations or from external, what would it be that you can share that will help them out?
Hmm. In my container that we have at Girl Organize That Life, I have a 8-step GPS framework that spells out I'm enough. The tip that I would leave for whoever's listening to this, I want you to remind yourself that you are enough, just the way you are. And as you manage the expectations that come from within, as you manage the external expectations of other people, no matter what is going on in life, because we know life will life, right? You are enough. Period. Exclamation point. And you have to know that it has to be like an unquestionable mantra that you should carry every single day.
That just completely filled my cup up. I'm just like, I am going to remember that for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Um, it's such a simple 3 words, but
Yeah.
it's 3 words that so many of us forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Leslie, for your time today. You have
Oh,
been an
yeah.
incredible guest, and thank you so much for sharing like all of your wisdom as well, and all the things that you share with your clients, you know, so openly and so freely. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. And if anybody feel like they want to, reach out to me for whatever, a conversation, whatever that is, they can find me on all socials, Girl Organize That Life, or they can go to girlorganizethatlife.com and feel free to reach out.
Everything is going to be in the either in the comments or in the description of this episode, so make sure you check out the websites and the socials, and I promise you won't regret it. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, and thank you, Leslie, once more for coming in, for being our guest. That's it for today, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time. Bye bye.